Nissan makes a daring move that completely blows up the auto industry. Nobody could have predicted the extent of what's going on behind the scenes, and it's having an impact well beyond their dealerships. The industry is buzzing about the automaker's game-changing decision, which is making headlines. Why, though, is Nissan taking this risk? Is this the start of the end, or can they make things better? And what effect will this have on you and other car buyers? Let's get started. What's going on? Consider a situation where a company's earnings fall by 99% in a single year. For Nissan, this is reality rather than a nightmare. The financial collapse of Nissan was both shocking and dramatic. The abrupt decline in profits was a sign of an existential crisis for a business that had once been a titan of the automotive industry. Sales all over the world were plunging. Nissan's market share in the US has decreased from a respectable 2.7% to just 5.8% over the last 5 years. In just 24 months, sales fell 5.5% globally, continuing a 5-month run of falling numbers. Nissan's excessive reliance on fleet sales, large purchases made by corporations, government organizations, and rental companies, was the main cause of the issue. Vehicles were moved swiftly by these sales, but profit margins suffered as a result. Even worse, the overabundance of fleet cars at reduced prices damaged the brand's value and made it more difficult for dealerships to draw in individual customers prepared to pay higher prices. Concurrently, rivals such as Honda and Toyota advanced rapidly by launching innovative new models and making investments in hybrid technology, drawing in eco-aware consumers. On the other hand, Nissan's lineup started to seem dated, and its vehicles were unable to compete in a market that was changing quickly. The decline in sales and profits was not only a financial issue, it was also an obvious indication that Nissan's primary business plan was failing. We must examine what customers see when they enter a Nissan dealership in order to fully comprehend the seriousness of the company's predicament. An aging lineup. Nissan is paying the price for lagging behind in innovation, which is a death sentence. In the fast-paced automotive industry, Nissan's car lineup stalled while rivals wowed customers with their svelte designs and cutting-edge technology. Models that had once captivated consumers now seemed antiquated and unable to satisfy the needs of a market that was changing quickly. Nissan's once popular SUV, the Rogue, has had difficulty remaining competitive. Even worse, the Rogue's hybrid variant won't be on sale until 2027, which puts Nissan years behind competitors like Toyota, which already offers hybrid options for almost a third of its lineup. It is especially noticeable that electrification has not been adopted. With the introduction of the Leaf in 2020, Nissan was a leader in electric vehicles, but its early advantage has since vanished. Once hailed as the vehicle of the future, the Leaf now trails rivals like Hyundai's Ioniq series and Tesla's Model Y by a significant margin. In a market dominated by state-of-the-art electric and hybrid cars, the Leaf has become obsolete without major upgrades or innovations. Even Nissan's gasoline-powered vehicles have fallen behind. Nissan's lineup struggles to draw attention in showrooms due to designs and features that seem uninspired when compared to products from Hyundai, Ford, and Honda. Customers have an easy choice. Why choose antiquated products when there are more exciting, modern alternatives? Nissan is currently playing catch-up in an industry that requires constant evolution due to its inability to innovate. But the issues don't stop with its cars. If consumers do not trust a brand to deliver, even the most innovative automobiles cannot save it. Trustworthiness on the ropes. What happens if a reputable brand starts to lose its edge? Nissan is learning this lesson the hard way. Nissan's reputation has always been built on dependability. For many years, the brand was associated with trustworthy automobiles that consumers could rely on. However, numerous reports of mechanical problems, especially with its constantly fluctuating transmissions, have destroyed that reputation. Drivers of various Nissan models have complained about issues ranging from abrupt acceleration to rough shifting, and in certain situations, total gearbox failure. These problems are deal breakers, not merely annoyances. Many prospective customers are deliberately avoiding Nissan due to its reputation for mechanical issues, according to a recent consumer survey. Once proud owners of Nissan automobiles, loyal customers are now moving to rival brands like Hyundai and Honda. Dealerships now face an even more challenging task as a result of these reliability issues. Sales teams deal with difficult inquiries concerning the brand's quality, which constantly erodes customer confidence. Nissan has come under fire for its too little, too late response to these problems. The company has extended warranties and conducted recalls for impacted vehicles, but these actions haven't dealt with the underlying issues. Instead, they have given the impression that Nissan is more reactive than proactive, which is risky in a sector where consumer trust is crucial. Nissan's reputation is in shambles as reliability issues frighten off potential buyers and drive away devoted customers. Although the consequences of these difficulties are evident, Nissan's future is still up in the air. Promotions and price wars. To what extent would a business go to remain competitive? For Nissan, the solution is obvious: drastically reduce prices. Today, entering a Nissan dealership is like entering a haven for bargain hunters. Automobiles that formerly had price tags of $25,000 are now available for as little as $12,000. That is almost 50% off. This kind of drastic discount is practically unheard of in the automotive industry. Additionally, Nissan is making it easier than ever for customers to drive off in a brand new car by offering 0% financing for up to 60 months on many models. However, the goal of these aggressive promotions goes beyond simply drawing in customers. They are a last-ditch effort to get rid of stock that has been building up at dealerships all over the nation. Dealers have been forced to impose steep markdowns due to rows of unsold Rogues, Altimas, and Kicks. These price reductions and time-limited promotions appeal to FOMO, or the fear of missing out, in consumer psychology. Customers are swarming dealerships in an attempt to seize what seems to be a once-in-a-lifetime chance. There are advertisements everywhere. Vibrant ads predominate on television, social media, and even email inboxes. The purpose of slogans like "Drive today, pay less" is to instill a sense of urgency. However, despite their short-term effectiveness, these campaigns carry a number of serious risks. Excessive discounts reduce profit margins, and long-term brand equity may be harmed by the perception of being a discount brand. Even though Nissan is currently producing automobiles, at what cost to its future? Although these reductions may appear to benefit customers, they raise a more serious query. Is Nissan being saved, or is it being set up for failure by this strategy? Furthermore, price reductions are just one aspect of the situation. Nissan is also making a risky wager on the development of electric cars, the electric gamble. Is it too late to catch up, or can Nissan's electrification strategy revive the business? Nissan was at one point at the forefront of the electric car industry. One of the first widely available EVs was the Nissan Leaf, which debuted in the year 2000. However, that early lead has vanished in the years that have passed. Nissan is finding it difficult to keep up with rivals like Tesla and Hyundai, who have completely changed what consumers expect from electric vehicles. The carmaker is now taking a risky bet to take back market share in the EV industry. The ARC business plan, which is at the heart of this strategy, calls for a startling 78% refresh of current models within the next 3 years, and the introduction of 7 new models in North America by 2026. Additionally, the company has committed to launching 34 electrified vehicles worldwide by 2030, of which 19 will be entirely battery electric. With a 25% longer range and more contemporary features, the Nissan Leaf has been redesigned to lead this push. Nissan is also making significant investments in solid-state battery technology, which promises faster charging times and a 22.8 increase in energy density. But there are still difficulties. The worldwide EV market is now extremely competitive. Tesla is still in the lead, but new companies like Rivian and Lucid Motors are drawing in customers with their creative designs and state-of-the-art technology. Comparatively speaking, Nissan's EV products have had difficulty making an impression. In a market where every mile counts, the Leaf's range is inferior to rivals, and its design seems outdated. Nissan may be able to survive by electrifying, but it's a risky move given the intense competition and infrastructure issues. Although technology plays a role in the solution, Nissan's leadership faces an even more challenging environment. Crisis leadership. Bold leadership is necessary for bold actions, but is Nissan driving with the right people? The Carlos Ghosn scandal has brought Nissan's leadership under close scrutiny. After he left, the company's governance problems persisted. Rather, they exposed a disjointed organization that was having trouble establishing itself. Insiders and analysts have both questioned important choices, ranging from pricing strategy to product development. Taking over during one of Nissan's most tumultuous times was CEO Makoto Uchida. The company has announced significant changes under his direction, such as the ARC plan and a renewed emphasis on electrification. However, detractors contend that Nissan's approach is disjointed. The company seems torn between pursuing the future with electrification and cutting-edge technology, and maintaining its heritage of dependable combustion engine vehicles. Customers and stakeholders are perplexed by the brand's ambiguous identity as a result of this internal conflict. The pressure to produce outcomes in a market that is becoming more and more competitive adds to the difficulties of leadership. Due to its financial difficulties, Nissan has little margin for error. The stakes are extremely high, and every mistake is amplified. Uchida is responsible for re-establishing relationships with dealers, restoring consumer trust, and carrying out a bold future vision. Nissan could emerge from its darkest period with the correct leadership, but the company runs the risk of losing its direction in the absence of a clear vision. Furthermore, Nissan's entire strategy depends on the success of its audacious business plan. Leadership is just one component of the equation. The strategic turn one question will determine Nissan's future. Can its ARC plan translate ambitious concepts into tangible outcomes? Nissan's recovery plan is called the ARC plan, which stands for Ambition, Renewal, and Commitment. It's a comprehensive plan intended to solve the business's most urgent issues and pave the way for sustained expansion. 7 new models will be introduced in North America as part of the plan, which also calls for a 78% lineup refresh and the ambitious goal of 60% of vehicles being electric by 2030. The concept of balance, utilizing Nissan's advantages in conventional combustion engines while quickening its electrification initiatives, is at the heart of the strategy. From eco-conscious buyers seeking the newest in EV technology to traditionalists who value dependability, this dual approach aims to appeal to a broad spectrum of consumers. The updated Leaf is only the first of many hybrid and electric models that are planned, such as cutting-edge SUVs and microcars with an urban focus. But there are risks associated with the plan. Nissan has consistently struggled with overproduction, which results in unsold inventory and steep discounts that put pressure on profit margins. The success of the ARC plan hinges on Nissan's capacity to precisely forecast demand and adjust production accordingly. A mistake in this area could have disastrous consequences, leaving the business with more cars than clients. The ability of the business to carry out its vision is equally important. Nissan's reputation has suffered recently, and it will be difficult to persuade investors and customers that it can fulfill its commitments. Although the plan is audacious, Nissan cannot be saved by audacity alone. Perfect execution is required. Nissan's future may be redefined by the ARC plan, but success hinges on making promises a reality. After discussing Nissan's audacious actions, it's time to look at the market dynamics that will determine their future. The war of prices. Nissan finds itself in the midst of a fierce price war for electric vehicles in an industry where prices are falling more quickly than ever before. The market for electric vehicles is now a battlefield, rather than merely a race. Prices are falling as automakers cut prices to entice buyers, as more compete for a piece of the EV market. This environment presents a significant challenge for Nissan. Tesla and other rivals have set the example by consistently lowering prices to keep their lead. Legacy automakers like General Motors and Ford have done the same, sending everyone into a downward spiral. Nissan is in a vulnerable position in this conflict. Although it has made some price changes to its EV lineup, which includes the Leaf, it has found it difficult to match Tesla's aggressive pricing strategy or Hyundai's capacity to provide cutting-edge features at affordable prices. Customers are growing more discriminating and anticipating a blend of range, affordability, and cutting-edge technology. These crucial areas are where Nissan's older EV models, especially the Leaf, fall short. Profit margins are also being squeezed by supply chain interruptions and growing prices for battery components like cobalt and lithium. It is becoming more difficult for automakers to strike a balance between reduced prices and the high cost of producing EVs. Nissan, which already operates on slim margins as a result of its aggressive discounting strategy for conventional cars, will have to fight hard to maintain its competitiveness in the EV market without further hurting its financial position. The goal of the EV price war is to survive in a market where only the most resilient will prosper, not just to sell cars. However, Nissan faces more challenges than just pricing. Its rivals are increasing the ante in every manner they can. The rivalry gets hotter. Nissan is struggling to stay up with its rivals, who are outpacing it in terms of innovation and customer confidence. When compared to the achievements of its competitors, Nissan's difficulties are exacerbated. Nissan is lagging behind as Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, and Tesla have all established unique market niches. For instance, with almost one-third of its lineup consisting of hybrid models, Toyota has emerged as a leader in hybrid technology. With its Ioniq series, Hyundai has taken a risky tack by fusing cutting-edge design with long-range capabilities. Naturally, Tesla continues to dominate global sales and consumer attention, making it the industry standard for EVs. Even well-known companies like Ford have advanced significantly, introducing the F-Series Lightning and Mustang Mach-E to overwhelmingly positive reviews. On the other hand, Nissan's lineup has developed slowly. In a market that is expanding more quickly than ever, the Rogue Hybrid's 2027-day delay feels like a lost chance. Customers who may have previously given Nissan some thought are now searching elsewhere, drawn to companies that provide contemporary features, dependability, and a clear future vision. Instead of waiting for Nissan to catch up, its rivals are outpacing it and establishing industry standards. Rebuilding customer trust is the most important factor Nissan needs to focus on in order to compete. Regaining trust. Every brand is built on trust, but can Nissan regain what it has lost? Nissan has severe trust issues as a result of years of reliability problems, especially with continuously variable transmissions. The brand that was formerly associated with reliability has turned into a risk that many customers are unwilling to take. Customer reviews have been dominated by complaints about unexpected acceleration, rough shifting, and transmission failures, which has led to a perception issue that is difficult to resolve with marketing. The first step in regaining trust is to confront these problems head-on. Although Nissan has taken some action, such as extending warranties and issuing recalls for impacted models, these actions only deal with the symptoms and not the underlying cause. Beyond damage control, customers want to know that Nissan is dedicated to producing reliable automobiles. Nissan's recent focus on customer reviews is one strategy that shows promise. One step in altering perceptions is to highlight reports of happy customers who have had good experiences with more recent models. However, without noticeable increases in the caliber and dependability of vehicles, this approach can only go so far. Customers are astute. They are able to spot marketing strategies that lack tangible results. Rebuilding trust involves more than just resolving issues. It also entails demonstrating to clients that Nissan is deserving of their allegiance. However, Nissan's recovery depends not only on customers, but also on its dealership's continued existence. Dealer hopelessness. The automotive industry relies heavily on dealerships, yet Nissan's dealers are having difficulty staying in business. The strain of the company's difficulties is being felt by Nissan dealerships across the US. Nissan has 179 dealerships, and nearly 38% of them are losing money. To move inventory, many are turning to steep discounts. Some are even selling cars for less than their true value. Dealers find it nearly impossible to survive as a result of the incredibly thin profit margins. This issue is made worse by the sheer number of unsold cars. Dealers are being forced to store extra inventory in grassy fields and secondary lots because dealership lots are overflowing with models that buyers just don't want. Customers start to doubt the brand's worth and desirability when they see rows of unsold cars, which leads to a perception issue. For some dealerships, the breaking point has already arrived. 8 franchised Nissan stores have shut down this year alone as a result of unsustainable operating conditions. The closures serve as a sobering reminder that Nissan's problems affect local economies and communities in addition to the company. Cutting the number of Nissan dealerships by as much as 40% has been one suggested remedy. The remaining franchises' profitability might be stabilized as a result, but there would be a high price to pay: fewer jobs and less access to customers. To thrive in a market that is contracting, Nissan must strike a balance between helping its dealers and optimizing its business processes. The difficulties faced by Nissan's dealerships demonstrate how widespread the company's issues have grown and how challenging the recovery process will be. Nissan needs to figure out how to adjust or risk losing everything as the market presents it with more and more difficulties. Electrification's future. The automotive industry is headed toward electrification, but is Nissan prepared to take the lead, or will it continue to follow? With the Leaf, Nissan once spearheaded the electric vehicle revolution and persuaded millions of drivers to switch to electric vehicles. However, as times have changed, so too have the expectations of consumers. Nissan's EV lineup finds it difficult to compete with the current standards of range, affordability, and cutting-edge technology. As part of its ARC strategy, the company has set ambitious goals to address this. Nissan intends to electrify 60% of its global lineup by the Year 2030, including 19 fully battery electric models. The solid-state battery technology that Nissan has invested in is among the most promising developments. Longer range, quicker charging, and cheaper manufacturing costs are all promised by these next-generation batteries. Should Nissan successfully introduce this technology by its anticipated 28-day timeline, it could provide the business with a much-needed competitive advantage. This innovation is by no means assured, though. Solid-state battery development and scaling is a difficult and costly process, and if there are any delays, Nissan runs the risk of lagging behind. Another problem is the market itself. Infrastructure continues to be a major obstacle to the growing adoption of EVs, especially in rural areas with limited access to charging stations. Without dependable charging options, many of Nissan's devoted customers are reluctant to convert to electric models, particularly those who depend on trucks and SUVs for work. Whether Nissan's electrification strategy is successful may depend on its capacity to close this gap through collaborations, rewards, or awareness-raising initiatives. Although Nissan's drive toward electrification has a lot of promise, there are many obstacles in its way that could make or break its future. Electrification is only a single component. In a market that is becoming more and more competitive, Nissan must also strike a balance between innovation and survival. Survival versus innovation. Remaining relevant requires innovation. But how can one innovate when their life is in jeopardy? Nissan's success has always been largely attributed to its inventiveness. From the introduction of the renowned Z-Series sports cars to the groundbreaking Leaf, the company has a history of taking risks. However, boldness by itself is insufficient in the current market. Nissan needs to manage its unstable financial position while innovating in ways that directly address consumer needs. The carmaker has already declared that it will update 78% of its lineup in 3 years, with 7 new models being introduced in North America by 2026. This includes the release of urban microcars made for effective city driving, as well as updates to well-known models like the Rogue and Altimax. Although these actions are meant to increase Nissan's competitiveness, there are serious risks involved. The business is all too familiar with the issue of unsold inventory, which can result from overproduction and poor customer demand forecasting. Beyond the cars themselves, Nissan is looking into new approaches to cut expenses and increase production efficiency. The goal of initiatives like streamlined assembly procedures and modular vehicle platforms is to make operations more flexible and lean, to prevent interruptions that might exacerbate the company's already precarious position. These adjustments must be made carefully. Nissan must strike a careful balance between innovation and survival, and its ability to produce goods that appeal to customers while maintaining financial stability will determine how successful it is. Without one essential component, even the most creative strategies will fall short. Customer loyalty. The customer relationship. Rebuilding a relationship with customers is more important than simply selling cars. Rebuilding customer loyalty is a difficult task for Nissan, as it is the cornerstone of any successful automaker. Many consumers are dubious of the brand as a result of years of dependability problems, an aging lineup, and a dearth of attractive EV options. Nissan needs to concentrate on producing automobiles that not only fulfill, but also surpass consumer expectations if it hopes to win back trust. Customer-focused initiatives are one way Nissan can have an instant impact. Better service options, longer warranties, and open communication regarding quality enhancements are all positive moves. Public perception can be changed by showcasing success stories, whether they take the form of glowing customer reviews or praise for more recent models. Although it will take time, Nissan must rebuild customer loyalty if it wants to regain its position in the market. The question still stands: will Nissan be able to overcome its difficulties, or is this the start of the end? Bankruptcy or recovery? Will Nissan overcome its difficulties, or will it burn to the ground? The future of Nissan is uncertain. The promise of innovation, electrification, and a redesigned lineup that might revitalize the brand is on the one hand. The harsh reality of declining earnings, a declining market share, and a tarnished reputation is the other. There is disagreement among industry analysts regarding Nissan's ability to handle these difficulties. Despite its ambition, there are risks associated with the ARC strategy. It will take flawless execution, a large financial commitment, and a degree of customer support that Nissan hasn't experienced in years to achieve its objectives. The company's ability to strike a balance between short-term survival and long-term growth, a challenge that many in the automotive industry have struggled to accomplish, will determine its level of success. Then, there is the imminent risk of going bankrupt. Nissan runs the risk of losing market share in a market that is becoming more and more competitive if it is unable to restore consumer confidence and stabilize its finances. The price war for electric vehicles, increasing competition, and persistent reliability problems are all challenges that could drive the business over the edge. In addition to influencing Nissan's own future, the company's actions will have an impact on the whole auto sector. Nissan's audacious actions have the entire auto industry on notice. Are we seeing the end of an era, or will their tactics result in a revolutionary comeback? It's your turn now. What are your thoughts on Nissan's prospects? Do you think their electrification efforts are sufficient, or do you anticipate more difficult obstacles? Tell us in the comments section below. In a move that has stunned the automotive world, Nissan has dropped a bombshell that's sending shockwaves through the industry. Today, we delve deep into the seismic announcement that's set to redefine the future of driving as we know it. Imagine a world where innovation meets sustainability, where performance meets efficiency. Nissan, known for pushing boundaries, has done it again with their groundbreaking revelation. Introducing the culmination of years of research and development, Nissan has unveiled a revolutionary concept that promises to not just compete, but dominate the electric vehicle landscape. Industry experts are calling it a game changer, a leap forward that could reshape the very essence of mobility. With sleek lines and futuristic design elements, this concept isn't just about looks. It's about redefining what it means to drive electric. Behind the scenes, Nissan's team of engineers and designers have meticulously crafted a vehicle that blends cutting-edge technology with unmatched performance. But does it deliver? We took it for a spin to find out. The acceleration is breathtaking, the handling precise. It's not just a car. It's an experience car enthusiasts and critics alike are buzzing with anticipation. Could this be the electric vehicle everyone's been waiting for? Nissan's executives share their vision, emphasizing their commitment to sustainability, without compromising on performance. From Tokyo to New York, the announcement has sparked conversations about the future of automotive technology and the role of electric vehicles in our daily lives. As Nissan prepares to unleash this marvel onto the world stage, one thing is clear. They've not only dropped a bombshell, they've set a new standard. Stay tuned as we witness the evolution of driving. The announcement has sent shockwaves through the automotive market, with competitors scrambling to recalibrate their strategies. Analysts are predicting a shift in consumer preferences towards sustainability and innovation. Industry leaders weigh in on the implications. Some see Nissan's move as a bold step towards a greener future, while others view it as a challenge to their own technological advancements. On the ground, consumers are eager to embrace Nissan's vision. Early feedback suggests a strong demand for the new concept, reflecting a growing appetite for eco-friendly alternatives without compromising on performance. Economists predict a surge in investment towards electric vehicle infrastructure and technologies, with Nissan at the forefront of this transformative wave. From urban centers to remote corners of the globe, Nissan's innovation is sparking conversations about sustainability and the future of mobility. As Nissan prepares to roll out their groundbreaking concept, one thing is certain. They've not just dropped a bombshell, they've ignited a revolution. Join us as we witness the dawn of a new era in automotive excellence. Behind the bold vision and groundbreaking announcements, there's a figure steering the ship through uncharted waters, Nissan's CEO, Makoto Uchida. However, his journey hasn't been without challenges. Makoto Uchida took over as Nissan's CEO during one of the company's most tumultuous periods, following the high-profile departure of former chairman Carlos Ghosn. Under his leadership, the company has embarked on a dramatic turnaround strategy. When Uchida stepped into the role in late 2019, Nissan was facing financial instability, declining sales, and a damaged reputation. Critics doubted whether the company could recover, let alone innovate. But Uchida had a plan. Focus on electrification, streamline operations, and rebuild trust with both investors and consumers. His bold Nissan Next strategy promised profitability and sustainability. Fast forward a few years, and Nissan's electric vehicle portfolio has become a cornerstone of its revival. The announcement of their revolutionary EV concept is seen as a reflection of Uchida's vision. Despite these successes, Uchida has faced criticism, particularly from shareholders who demand faster results in a highly competitive market. Some question whether his focus on electrification risks leaving behind Nissan's traditional customer base. Industry analysts, however, see Uchida as a resilient leader who has navigated Nissan through unprecedented challenges, from global economic downturns to a rapidly changing automotive landscape. In a recent interview, Uchida shared his philosophy. Leadership is about adaptation. It's about listening to the market, the team, and the consumers. Nissan will thrive because we're not afraid to innovate. As Nissan's recent bombshell announcement grabs headlines, the spotlight is once again on Uchida. This moment could define his legacy as the leader who propelled Nissan into a new era of innovation.